For my invitation. I feel very privileged to be here and very privileged to have been involved in GK in the Philippines. Myself, I'm a phys ed teacher in southwest of Sydney. My first involvement with the Philippines came via a very good friend of mine who was working with the Philippine Rugby Union. They were looking for a forwards coach, and he happened to think I was good enough to do the job, so I said, well, going coaching rugby and travelling to another country are the two things that really excites me, so I said yes, and off I went. So that was my first time of going to the Philippines. Was 4 years ago, and I was fortunate enough to go to work with an organisation, the Philippine Rugby Union, who is quite new. They'd only started in 2006, very much a developing union. But what really attracted me to continue to keep going was, I guess, their generosity and their work within the community. They have a number of orphanages they linked with, and they go in with limited staff and resources and provide opportunities for these young boys and girls in orphanages to experience the game and all the things that come from playing sport. So had an opportunity to go to a number of orphanages. Also, a big thing was the Smoky Mountain project. So we went into Smoky Mountain in Finland's post here. If you go onto YouTube and type in Philippine Volcanoes Smoky Mountain, there's a small presentation there which shows the work we do there, where we go in, we take the kids out of their environment, and we go and have some games, and obviously promoting the game of rugby, but really promoting the game of life, of being healthy and other alternatives. And I guess listening to Andrew's talk, the big thing that I think that GK does, and it's what I know the PRFU try to do, is to try and install a sense of hope. A number of those children's in Smoky Mountain, one story I tell, even the kids at school that I teach at, were driving in, and there was two kids, and there was a ledge about as high as the ceiling, and there was an eaten old corn cob, and there they were with a tape cassette, and they're throwing that up to drag that down to get something to eat, and to see these kids covered in dark soot from rummaging through all the rubbish to try and find something to sell. For us to go in and take those children out of their environment, to give them, even if it's only for an hour, some enjoyment, and following that, the PRFU sit the kids down and give them some foods to feed them, and to see their smiles, it just gives that sense of hope. And I think as humans and as adults, I think that's really I know for me that's my drive as a teacher, as a coach, is to try and, as a coach, you try and build a team, but ultimately you're building individuals, and you want that sense of hope. And there's a number of situations that I've experienced in the Philippines where you could see it as hopelessness, and to go in and provide a sense of hope. I think it's a really powerful thing. I know